All righty, so we are recording. And we'll pull up the first question. And I have no idea what to look at there. Isn't that amazing?
Well, I mean, it's really just it's an issue, not really a question.
That's all right, because if you have the issue, guess what? Somebody else probably has it too.
All right.
And that's the same thing with all questions. Although some of y'all don't have questions because y'all are perfect, there are people that have questions. And if you have that question, then guess what? Everybody else, or not everybody else, somebody else may have that same question. So don't do this. Whenever I pull up the questions, don't raise your hand and say, oh, don't go over that question, I figured it out. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to go over the question because what? It not only benefits you, but it benefits anybody else that may have that same question. Capiche? Okay, I do not understand. Okay, this is 1.1. Now, when I pull up a question, what does this 51 mean? Anybody know? I do that every morning. 51 means that it's if you look in 1.1, the book, and look at the homework in the book, it's like number 51. So you have a comparison. What's number 21? That's the online homework question on everybody's homework, number 21, 1.1. So with that, and I can tell you right now, it's probably not going to be a test question because it's a definition. But anyway, so when you write down in your notes, you need to write 1.1, 51/21. So that, therefore, in your notes, you know which one in the book it is, and you know which one on the homework it is. Now, please mark down the 21 because I can't stand when I say, okay, we're doing 1.1, 51/21, and I say it like 3 times, and I get halfway through the problem, and Darian raises his hand and goes, what problem is that? Okay? Don't do that. So it's number 21. Okay. Okay, it says it's extremely important for researchers to clarify and define the variables in a study because this helps. Social Security numbers. Social Security numbers will be nominal because they do not have any kind of mathematical. They're not in any type of order. They're not representing zero. They're not representing zero. Always remember, Social Security numbers, area codes, and there's one more. Phone numbers, area codes, Social Security numbers, zip codes. Those are all blonde, brunettes, and redheads. Okay? They're the same thing as blonde, brunettes, and redheads. So they would classify as nominal because all the rest of them have some kind of mathematical value, whether it's order, zero, or not absolute zero. You see what I'm saying? So it would be nominal. Does the level of measurement of variables change in the second scenario? Okay, what's the second scenario? Let's look at the question. Now, suppose the researcher felt that certain people with a greater birth weight received higher numbers. Does the level of measurement change? Yes. Yes, it would. It would change to probably ordinal because you'd have to put the weights from heaviest to lightest, which is ridiculous, but that's what I would say. I don't know. Change to ordinal. I mean, that's what I would think. Okay. Is this a test question? No. Is it a standardized test question? It could be. The first part could be. Okay, I don't know about the second part, but the first part could be a standardized test question on a entry-level exam or something else. Okay, placement test, ACT, SAT, whatever you take, that could be a question. Okay, good. Okay, let's delete that one. Next one, 2.2. 41/12. 2.2, 41/12. Okay, is it a test question? No. Okay, do I ask you to do a box plot? Yes, or not a box plot, but whatever it's called, stem, leaf, whatever. Okay, the first thing you got to do is estimate these. So the first one is going to be, what is 161 close to? 160. And then the second one, I'm trying to hit, okay, 250. And then 270. And then 310. And then 330. And then 180. Oh, damn Russians. 250. 270. 310. 30? 200. 260. 270. And so on. 310. Thank you. 360. 210. Oh. 260. And I can't type. 280. 320. 400. 220. 270. 290. 320. And 420. Now what are you going to do? You're going to put them in order. Okay? You actually could probably do that here a whole lot easier by taking it. I don't see if that's the, yeah. Just take this, copy it in the Excel spreadsheet.
Well, they're already kind of in order.
They already are in order if you go up and down.
Okay, they are in order. Okay. Well, here you can take it and take it over into the, I don't know where that came from. I
It's in
didn't.
print.
Oh, horse buggy.
Press cancel.
Thank you. You should, okay, you can't take it over to, okay, there it is. Open in Excel. Oh, it did. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I haven't had my vodka this morning. Okay, it's not in order. Okay, it is? Yeah, it is. Now you go over here and you do the same thing, 160, 180, and so on, and then you can put it in an order and say, okay, how many 100s do we have? So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. How far do we go? 400? Is that as far as we go?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you can put here 160, and you can either do that, or you can change it to a 10, or 160. You can change it and put it a 6. Depends on what they want. You can just put a 1. If these are 100s, you can put like that, and then you can put 1, 2, 3, 4,
That's what they did.
and then how many? They've got a 160 and a what? Comma
7.
180. Okay, because you're estimating them. Okay, how many 200s do you have? Well, let's go over here. 200, 210, 220, 220 or 250. Sorry, 250, 260, 260, 270, 270, 270, 270 again, good gracious, 280, and 290. So now you got to go over here and pick how many you got. Well, we got 1 0. Move this over a little bit. Got a 0. What else? How many 10s do we have? 1. How many 20s? 2 or 1?
120.
Okay, there's 120, and there's 2 5s. Thank you. 15 7s. 8 and 9. Y'all get the point? Okay, and of course 3s. There's 310, 310, 310, 320, 320, 330, 330, and 360. So how many ones we got? 3, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and a 6. And then of course the 40s would be 400 and 420. And then that would be a 0 and a what? A 2. All right, that's how you do it. And then they're probably going to ask you to do a split. Well, what's a split? That's when you break it up from 0 to 5, 0 to 4, or 0 to 5. Do they say 5? Okay, 0 to 4, and then 5 to 9. And then all you would do there is instead of 1, 1, how many would you have? You'd have 2 ones. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and 4, 4. And then what would go on the bottom one? That'd be any zeros through 4. Do we have any? No. Here, 6 and 8. 2. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. And then here would be a 6. Are y'all catching on? 3, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Okay, I did that wrong way. I suck. Okay, 0, 0, 1, and 2. 0, 1, 0, 1, and 2. Anybody want to come up here and type? You're welcome to, because I suck at it. And then what will go in the second one?
5, 5.
Yeah, just call it out to me. 5, 5,
6,
6, 6,
7,
7, 7,
7,
7,
7,
7,
8,
8,
9.
9. Yeah, that sounds better. Okay, 3. I can just copy that. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. And then a 6. And then 4 would be a 0 and a 2. Oh, 0 and 2, thank you. 0, comma, 2. And I need to put that on the left-hand side so it'll... Now, turn these to your... Turn your head a little bit and you can see an actual what? You can see an actual curve. Okay? And which one looks better?
The split.
The split. Always remember, more detail gives you more information. Remember that. Write that down. More detail gives you more information. So anytime you can get something and break it down into more classes, it's better information. And that's not only true in this class, it's true for a lot of the other classes too. Unless you just want to suck at all your other classes, you can do that too. So, is that a test question? Not my test question. If I was to give you one, it would be like the first one. I'm not going to make you do double work on a test question, okay? I saw that. That was a yawn. Next. I don't know why this thing keeps asking me to exit. I don't hit the X, but it's asking me anyway. Telling you some damn Russians. Next question. I do not understand where I'm going. 3.2, 11/6. You see how this works now? It's amazing. I go over all your questions. Takes care of what? Excuses. Takes care of, oh, I didn't know how to do that question. What should everybody turn in on their homework at the end of the semester? 100. Will they? Hell to the no. I'll have 32s, 56s, and people don't understand why they can't pass math. An insurance company crashed 4 cars in succession at 5 miles per hour. The cost of the repair, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm not even going to look at the directions. Anytime I see one of these words, I'm going to go to the Excel spreadsheet. And I'm going to do everything. Why am I going to do everything? Because when you're practicing on who plays a musical instrument in here? Okay. If you're practicing a song, do you just practice parts, or do you practice the song over and over and over? Okay? No, you practice it over and over and over. No, I'm just kidding. The concept I'm trying to get you to realize, you may mess up in a part, but if you play the song over and over and over, doesn't it help you with your coordination of your fingers and stuff like that? Yes, it does. The more you play the song in whole, the better. Why am I telling you this? Because I don't want you to just do the standard deviation. I want you to do those 8 things or those 5 or 6 things. I want you to do them every time you get one of these homework problems. Why? Because that way when the test asks you one of those, you can what? You can get it right quick. You see what I'm saying? Now before the test, I'll show you how to do everything on your calculator. For those that are not on the calculator drill team, I will show you how to do it. But right now, we're just going to do it by hand and on the Excel spreadsheet. So there's our 4 questions. There's our 4 numbers. I'm going to make them big enough to where everybody can see them. So y'all won't complain. Y'all won't complain about anything, no matter what, right? How's that? Is that big enough?
That's wonderful.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Mean. Go ahead and start. Mean. Median. Mode. Range. Mid-range. Variance. And standard deviation. Now, of course, I want you to do the empirical rule. I want you to draw your curve so we can put the empirical rule in there. So that's more practice. I know, practice, isn't that awful? Practice, that's like the same thing as work. So I'm going to go ahead and find the mean for you so you can go ahead and do that. What is n?
4.
4. So we're going to divide by 4. There you go, 380. I don't know why it did it there, of course. It's not my fault, it's the Russians. Whenever something don't go your way, you always blame somebody else. Divided by 4. And we'll let y'all do the rest right quick, for I'll give you a minute or two, and then we'll check and do the curve. That way you can fill in the empirical rule. And I think we got a homework question on the empirical rule. Any homework question on the empirical rule is a test question. You might want to write that down. Now, I'm not going to ask you to do the 5-number summary. Why? You only got 4 numbers. How you feeling? Whew. Put a little bit too much in there this morning. So let's highlight these two. And that's going to be the what? Median.
Nope, that's not a median. That'd be 420, 418.
Well, if you'll give me a chance, I'm fixing to do it. Parentheses, this number. Oh, I didn't put them in order. Sorry. My bad. You're right. I see what you're saying now. So hit home or data, sort.
You're in
Oh. Like I said, the damn Russians, they done got in here and done changed everything. Can't have anything. There we go. Now, take these two, highlight them, and highlight this one. And that's going to be equal to, parentheses, this number plus this number divided by 2. Now, I know I've got degrees and all my teeth and everything, okay? I know that the average between 418 and 420 is 419, okay? Because there's always some smart aleck kid that says, well, I can't believe he has to calculate that. I'm not, that's the difference between you and me. That's why I've got credentials and you don't, okay? The reason I'm doing that is to get you in the habit of doing the mathematical calculation each time. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I know that the center of 418 and 420 is 419. I know that. But I'm doing the calculation so you will get used to doing it. Mode, I don't care. Is there one? No, there's only 4. So I'm going to put nada. Range is equal to the highest minus the lowest. Mid-range is equal to 457 plus 223 divided by what? And did I do that by 2? Okay, I thought I hit 3. Go ahead and equals this minus the mean, F4. Somebody tell me on your Google thing, does F4 lock it? Anybody tried it?
Oh, we don't have F4.
Okay, you got a way to lock it. You just don't know. You don't have an F4 on your keyboard? Are you sure?
I'm positive.
There's not a shift F4 on the top on the number keyboard?
Nope. If you do shift F4, it'll be your refresh button.
Okay, I'll be all right. Equals this, raised to the second power. Copy that down. And the sum of that is equal to that. And this number divided by 3. And then what's the standard deviation relationship to the variance? The square root or the 1/2 power. Shift 0.5. And there is your numbers. Now you can do your curve. So what goes in the middle? Median. The mean. And I'm going to highlight that one per day. And highlight that one per day. Now, I guess I need to expand it a little bit. I don't know why it copied 380 here when it had 375 here. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about that right now. 380 plus the standard deviation, F4, and I'm going to take that to 3 so we can do the whole curve. And the reason I'm doing the curve on this one is there's another homework question that you sent me on the empirical rule, and I'm trying to refresh you before we do that. I guess I'm trying to be a decent teacher. Minus this. Even those that hate me, I'm trying to be a good teacher to you. There you go. Now take your handy dandy what? Your handy dandy marker that somebody hides all the time. Which way do we read? Left to right. Hold on a second, I need to move it. Left to right. Okay, now for those of you that didn't write down the empirical rule last week and didn't write down the page number, this is how the empirical rule works. Let me start from the middle. 34%, 34%, 13.5%, 13.5%, 2.35, 2.35, and 0.15. 0.15. Where does 95% fall? Between two what? Standard deviation, and that is considered to be what? Starts with an N. Normal. Unusual, we'll use a different color for it. Maybe this aqua. Unusual should be right in there. And then, of course, for your 6-foot third graders, we'll use red. And I very rarely use red highlighter. That's outliers. Okay, so outlier, unusual, normal, and unusual, and outlier. Now, which way do we read? We read from left to right. So if I ask you, how many numbers how many people are below, percentage people are below the score of 485? You'll go, take your handy dandy calculator and add all these numbers up to where? To 485. So 34, 34, 68, 68, and this is 13.5, and this is what? 2.5, that's what? 16? 16, that's 50, 84%. So 84% is below what? 485. That's how you use the empirical rule. Okay? So it's a good habit to do all of this whenever you're given a list of what? Numbers. Of course, I'm only talking to 5-10% of you. Okay? Because 75% of you ain't going to do anything extra, are you? And 2 or 3 of you hate my gut, so you ain't going to do any of it. So, next. I don't know why it keeps asking that. The exit bar, that's the X. Why does it do it when I hit that?
Hit in the future, do it.
I got to change this. I got to change the. See, that's the cursor, and it's not supposed to do that.
See,
okay.
in the future, do not show me this dialogue.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Thank you. You're still going to fail this class. Don't think you're on my good side. All right, so somebody check. Let's see. Was the range 234?
Yes.
Okay, what was the standard deviation? It says round to the nearest whole number.
106.
106?
Oh, yeah, it was.
Okay, well, it's not letting me. Okay, I'll try it again.
So you divide this, x squared is.
106? And we feel good about ourselves. Nope. What? Okay, thank you. What's the variance? Nobody ever asked for the variance. What's the variance? I'm sorry. Okay, I heard blah, 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 blah. That's all right. I'm 11,207. Blah, 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 blah. 11,207. And we feel good about ourselves. Now, what'd you say, 106?
Is that two decimal places?
Oh my this thing, thank you. Make up your dadgum mind. And y'all feel good about it. Any questions on that one? Now, there are some calculators and some Excel spreadsheets that won't give you exactly. And let's say if I like you and you had 105.85, then I'll probably give you credit for it. That's a joke. I'm just kidding. I'm very lenient when it comes to, if the calculator shows you 105.85 and you type in 105.85 and it says it's wrong, that would be a challenge question you would ask me after class, and I would look at it. Now, 9 times out of 10, even if I don't like you, I'll probably give you credit for it. Okay? Question, great, complaint. That's that one. Next one. This is number 29, 3.2, 29/10. And that last question was a test question, my test question. And here's the empirical rule. Anything with the empirical rule is a test question. Go ahead and write. This first sentence right here tells you, okay, you're going to draw a curve. So I want you to write that question down. Let me make it big so those people that complain will not complain. Okay, there you go. When you see mean and standard deviation, when you see those two together, that means draw a bell curve, because you're going to draw a bell curve somewhere in this problem. And I would take it to 3 standard deviations, because this book, y'all said it has 0.15 in the book, so that means this book is carrying everything to 3 standard deviations. Some books don't. You might go to Clemson, and they may have a book that only goes to 2 standard deviations and then puts 2.5 on the outside. Have you ever seen one like that? So your high school book may have done that and not have the 0.15 at the 3rd standard deviation. Some books are different. I take it some of y'all are not morning people, because y'all look like y'all got some bad weekend, or y'all just weaned on a pickle. It means sour face, sourpuss face, weaned on a pickle. Y'all know y'all can Skype in if you don't want to be here. Y'all know that, don't you?
That was the weirdest thing ever. I'm not.
It's weird. That's the way things are done now. When you go into the business world, if you're at another site, you Skype in.
That part was weird.
You sound like 90% of the teachers here at Tri-County Tech. Skype in.
Oh, no,
I need an overhead projector and a blackboard.
No, I like him. I like that. That was funny. I bet you did.
What's funny is when you have a student Skype in and the jealous boyfriend comes in and almost goes off on them.
Okay, you told us about that.
Oh my God, that was awful. I actually called security on that. I actually said, you might want to check up on this person. Give her a call and see if she's okay.
Priority 1 message coming in on secure
Sorry.
chat.
I like Star Trek, okay? Leave me alone. Okay, so here we go. And then there was one with a stupid dog. I cut them out. Stupid dog wouldn't stop barking, so I just dropped them off the collar. And what goes in the middle? 100. So what's this? 114, 128, and one what? 142? What is it? Now y'all gotta help me with the subtraction because I suck at subtraction. So 86, 72, and 58. Thank you. All right. So now you just answer the questions, but you gotta fill it in. Now I'm gonna tell you something you might want to do, and probably 20% of you are gonna do it. 2.35 and 0.15. 2.35 or 13.5. 2.35, because I get tired of writing it. 0.15. All right, so those 25% that don't mind a little extra outside of class, this is what I tell all my students in probability. Go to Google and type in normal curve. You could type in empirical rule, like that, not rookie. And images. Isn't that nice? You can take that and you can copy it, save image as, and of course I don't care where it goes, download. And then you pull up your handy dandy word processor. Like I said, this takes at least 3 or 4 button pushes, so some of y'all, it might not be worth it. Okay, insert, pictures, download, insert, make it as big as you want it. Of course, you can make it into 2 columns and put 2 or 3, or you can make it a half a page like this. Yeah, it's blurry, but why are you doing this? Because you don't want to have to what? Draw it every single time. And if you think it's going to end after this unit, it's not. You're going to have it in unit 3 and unit 4. So you might as well get used to, doing it. And once you do that, copy and put one, leave you some calculating if you need it for standard deviation or whatever, Control V, and then print this out 10 times or print it out 1 time and put it on a copier and print it out 20 times. You get the point? Make it as big or as small as you want it. Okay, if you want to make it bigger with it's not blurry, play with the resolution. I don't care about that. Okay, because only 25% of you is going to do it anyway. So do what you want. You can go back. You can pull up any one that you want. If you like that one, you can pull it up. That's what it looks like. Now remember, some of them will have 2.5 here. If your book is using 2.35, you want to use the 2.35 ones, okay? Some of them might just have 2.5. So everybody got that? And like I said, you're going to be using them. It's also good to have z-scores on the bottom. So another thing I would do, if you do this right here, they do have the z, no, they don't have the z-scores. You want to change the bottom and put a 0 here, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a -1, -2, -3. So in unit 3, you'll have the z-scores on there, okay, before you run the copies. That's just something I tell all my students, and I told one student, I had a night class last semester, and it was the first time that everybody did it because they were all older students, and I had like 15 in the class, and every one of them did it, and it was like they didn't have to draw that curve every single time, okay? So for the 25% of y'all that do it, it might help you out. Now back to the question, if I can find it. Let's see, where was I? I was in the question, so I need to go here. Just give me a second. I'll get there in a second. There we go. And whiteboard, and, oh, I didn't draw, did I draw it?
Yeah.
Well, what happened to
On
it?
Excel. I think.
I don't think I drew it. No, I didn't. Oh, well, I'll draw it again. I don't know what happened to it. We all know what happened to it. But we just don't want to say it. $100, $114, $128, and $142, and negative, or 80, 70 what? And 0.15, 58, and the 2.35, 13.5, 34, 34, 13.5, 2.35, and 0.15. Okay? All right, now the first one says, what percentage of people has an IQ score between 86 and 114? 34 plus 34? 68%. What percentage of people have an IQ score less than 86 and greater than? Okay, this is where I disagree here. That should be and, because I think they want you to add them together. It shouldn't be or, it should be and. But I've sent them this question 2 or 3 times and told them it should be and evidently they don't listen to me. So, what's 13.5? That's 16 and 16. 32%, right?
Yep.
Or is 16% and is what? 32%. I don't know which one's the right answer. I think it's 32. But like I said, I've sent it to them and told them that that word needs to be changed, because when you hear in Unit 3 or Unit 2, we tell you the and means what? Addition. Okay? Or multiplication. I can't remember. The whole point is, I don't like the way that's worded. But I think they want 32. What percentage of people has an IQ score greater than 128? 5%. Remember what I told you. Always remember 5%. I want you to highlight this in green. Always remember 5%. If something is greater than 5%, it is normal. If it's less than 5%, it is not normal. Remember that. Write it down. Greater than 5% is normal. Less than 5% is not normal. Yes, sir.
Why would it be 2.5%?
Yeah.
Because it's greater than 1.5.
I'm sorry. I multiplied it in my head. I'm sorry. 2.5 times 2. I'm sorry. You're right. 2.5%. Thank you. I was thinking of 5% being unusual. Okay? 2.5 times 2.5 or plus 2.5 is 5%. When you have a question and they say, what is the percentage? And you come out with 3%. Everybody with me? And the next question they're going to ask, especially on standardized tests, is this unusual? Would 3% be unusual? Yes, it's less than 5%. Remember 5%. It is a benchmark. What if you came out with 15%? Is that normal or unusual? Normal, because it's greater than 5%. Why? Because if it's less than 5%, it's going to fall in this green area or this green area. Because what's 2.5 plus 2.5? 5. Everybody see? If it falls greater, then that means it spills over not from here, but where? Into here. And you got to think kind of in reverse there. So that's the empirical rule. Make sure you know it, because you're going to have 2 or 3 test questions just like that. And I have gone over the empirical rule at least 4 or 5 times in the last, week? Okay? And out of I'm going to say 30 students, 5 of y'all are going to still get them wrong. So what did I say? 86 and what did I say? 68%? They gonna want 32 here, what don't they? Yep. I still disagree with it. And what'd I say, 2.5? And you feel good about yourself. What else is good about these questions? KISS method. What's the KISS method? Keep it simple. It's very simple. It's straightforward. And that's why I put 3 or 4 of them on the test. Kind of give you what? Give you points. And you don't have to draw the curve every time because you should have those printed out. Okay, next question. And that is this question. And let me look at the question before. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't give you the number. 3.1, 37/13. 3.1, 37/13. Let's see what the question says.
It really wasn't like.
This is a test question. So go ahead and write it down and treat it as a test question. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to do the 5-number summary also, because that's what we went over last class, and I want to go over that again. I'm probably not going to get into new stuff today, probably just a little bit. But that's why I tell you to send me questions. I'll spend the whole class going over questions. Now, for those of you that might use it as a stall tactic, okay, it's not going to work if you send me the same questions that I went over last, class. All right, I'm not going to go over the same questions over and over and over. But that's why. And that's why I don't have office hours, and that's why a lot of people don't fail my class, because I go over the questions over and over and over and over. And then I have the videos over and over and over and over. So that's why I told you, if you meet anybody that fails my class with less than a 60, you might want to back away from them a little bit. So, what was your question, Darian?
On this one, it said that the mode was only 50.
Okay, well, let's see. I have no idea. I'm going to copy it over into Excel so y'all can see it. I'll blow it up while y'all are working.
Oh, it changes because the question gives you 3 different scenarios for what the boss is going to do. Put onto the new data set, so the numbers are changed from the originals.
Oh, well, you answering Darian's question? I mean, I don't understand. What are you saying?
So the numbers at the top, those are the starting ones,
Mhm.
and what the question's asking is for the mode for the new data set. The new data set, I don't know if that's for the first time or the second time, but he either gives them a 5% raise, $2,500, or he keeps it all to himself. And so
Benjamin, okay, let me read the question. Benjamin owns a small business. Besides himself, he employs 9 other people. The salaries earned by the employees are given below. Benjamin's salary is the largest, of course. Complete parts A through D.
There's 14 parts.
Yeah, it was really big.
A through D?
Yeah, you can't do it because it's 2 new data.
Okay, well, I don't care about what the question, I'm gonna go ahead and do the rate. I'm gonna do everything on this, and then we'll come to it when we get there. Okay? So I'm gonna blow this up where y'all can see it. I'm not ignoring what you're saying. I just don't want to spend a lot of time worrying about some of these questions, because some of these questions are ridiculous. Okay? Now, as far as a question that's asking about the stuff that I'm going over, that's why I'm going over it like this, because that's all I care about. I want to make sure you can give me all the things that I'm doing. If you can do that, then you're okay. Because I don't put A through Z questions on the test. I don't put tricky questions on the test. I put questions that I go over on the test. That way, students can't say what? I didn't go over it. See, I covered that excuse. Y'all see a pattern? I cover what? I cover all your excuses. So let's go ahead and do this. Let me, I know I'm a bastard. Let's go ahead and, there we go. Go ahead and do the 5-number summary too. And a box plot. Mean. Median. Mode. Range. mid-range, variance, and standard deviation. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put min, first, second, third, and max. And how many numbers we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that means we got to pick number 10. That's even, so we got to pick these two. And I'm going to color them yellow, amarillo, I guess that's what it's called. And move this over a little bit. And color that, and color that. And that's going to be equal to this guy. And let's go ahead and find the mean. What'd I say, divided by 10?
Yep.
And that's going to be, the median is going to be equal to parentheses, this number plus this number divided by 2. Min, or the range, is equal to the max minus the min. I even put that question on test, and in a class of 30, I had 3 people miss it. All it asked for was the range. That's all the question asked for. Parentheses, lowest plus the highest divided by what? And the mode I don't care about, but the mode here is 50. Now I'm going to color that, highlight that red, because that's the only number that you don't have to what?
Calculate.
You don't have to calculate, it's observed. Okay? So, sorry, I'm going all over the place. Mode, I'm going to color that kind of a, all right, so what do we do next? Well, we got to do our x minus what? X minus x bar, F4, and copy, and then equals this number raised to the what? Second power, and copy, and summation, and that is your numerator for your variance, divided by, what's 10 minus 1? 9. And then what's the square root of the variance? The standard deviation. Raise that number to the 1/2 power. And you feel good about yourself, and we'll go ahead and do the curve. We'll do the curve right here. Maybe a little cramped, but there's your mean. And we'll color that verde. That goes here. And equals this plus the standard deviation, F4. Copy that over 3 standard deviations. And what to do on the left side? Minus. And there is your curve. Let's go up here. Min is equal to that number. The max is equal to that number. Okay, so where is, I'm going to take my blue dot, or my yellow dot. I'm going to take a yellow dot. Well, I don't know if I can use yellow. I'll just use a yellow. Yeah, well. Where is, no, I can't use yellow. let me use a blue dot. Where is my mean? I meant my median. My median is where? Right there. So how many numbers are above that blue dot? 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good. So all we have to do is find the what? Middle number. And what's the middle number? Should be 45. So I'm going to highlight that in blue. And that's going to be that number right there. Equals that number. And then I'm going to go down here and I don't know why my blue dot disappeared. Okay, evidently when you click this, I don't know what's going on with this thing. All right, there's my dot there, so I'm going to color that. Let's go with that burnt orange. Salmon, how about that? Equals that number. And now we draw our number line. And let's go ahead and draw our curve. Our curve looks like that. And you can add the 34, 34, 13.5, 13.5, 2.35, 0.15, 2.35, and 0.15. There you're done with that. Now, what's our number line consist of? 3 parts. What are they? The mean. I heard somebody say mean. Okay. What's max? Max. And what's in the middle? The mid-range. Now graduate it. If you haven't done your number line, graduate that number line. Yes, getting a question. Okay. Graduate that number line. Now, do you have to worry about the decimals? No, we're not building the space shuttle here, okay? If what's 24 plus 50? 64. What's half of 74. Well, that's not really good either. So 25 plus 50, half of 75, half of 74 is what, 37? So you can say the middle is 37. 50 plus 75, oh gosh, what is that, 125?
62.5.
How much?
62.5.
Okay, 63 is close enough for government work. And then 25 plus 37, I have no idea. 63, 62, half of 62 is 31. 30, that's 87, half of 88 is 44. 50 plus, that's 104, half of 104 is what? 52? Y'all check me. That don't look right. That don't look right.
It's right.
Is it?
Yeah. 50 plus 60.
No, it needs to be. No, it needs to be higher than 52.
56.
56.
Or no, 57.
57 is good enough. 56 is good enough. 63 plus, what is that? 138 or 158? Half of 160 is what? 80? Now, you don't have to put the decimals. If you want to put the decimals, knock yourself out. I just did what?
I got a question. How did you get 80 when your max is 75?
60, I'm sorry. I was doing it in my head. What's 60 plus 70? 150. Should be 70. How about 70? Is that close enough? What does it come out to be? 69, okay. Is everybody awake? Hello? Wake him up. Are you awake? Yeah. Okay. I've had 2 people in here fall asleep this semester, and I've never had anybody fall asleep in my class. Y'all in a unique group. Okay? All right. You have to be dead tired to fall asleep in my class. All right, so here we go. We got this, we got that, we got that. So what's the only 3 numbers left? First, second, third. So blue is 45. And you can draw it down here on the line if you want to, I don't care. What's the yellow? Is 50. Up, what line's up there? That lines up with the center. Is that good? Yes. And then that burnt orange, or whatever that comes out to be, I'll just use red. I'm sorry, burnt orange. Let's go with burnt orange. 55. 55 fall right in here somewhere. So your line, you have a normal curve? Yes. You pretty much have a normal curve because your center is falling in line. So you could say that this is pretty much a normal curve. So I don't care what the question says. I doubt very seriously that I haven't answered those questions on here. Because if you do all of that, you pretty much can do anything that I'm going to give you on the Unit 1 test, except for z-scores and frequency distributions, which we may cover. I have to look in the book to see when they cover it, because I don't know if they moved it or not. Question on that? Okay, well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shut off the recording, and let's see. Of course, some of y'all